Broadcast live.
Becoming a pop star.
Yes.
What is it about? There's so many layers in that title, and the pop star phrase in the past year has been very controversial with Shane Eagle, rapping about your fave being a pop star.
Yeah.
What is the title about?
Well, I can touch on it in different elements, but I think the driving force behind it was me recognizing that hip hop is actually pop culture. I've looked everywhere, I've been everywhere, and there's nothing that isn't influenced by hip hop. And it's time to stop distancing the word pop from hip hop because it is popular and it is culture. So it doesn't make sense for us not to take that and run with it, especially because we are such a small group, and we never get the props we deserve from these pop guys or whatever, the popular situations that people always give credit to every single other thing. But if you look around, we all look the same. How is that possible? We're fashion, we're music, we're lingo, we are everything, even like videos, all just started revolving around hip hop. So for me, it's just like, if we're talking about pop culture, then I'm definitely a pop star, That's it.
I love it. Is it coming out this year?
The EP is coming out this year.
Yeah.
So like I kind of made sense of all the music like after it was recorded, and which was the hardest part. And I realized, okay, like, becoming a pop star is a bit more acceptable from a hip hop artist, It's a bit more acceptable, it's got some singing and stuff, but it's also got quite a bit of rap. And pop star, it's just, for a rapper, it's just
Yeah, it's not.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, who's to decide?
Yeah.
The lines are so blurry now,
Yeah.
and you literally can do whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
and call it whatever you want to call it.
So I mean that's how it makes sense in my head, and that's how I'm planning to roll it out. Also, like, I have no pressure to live up to that album, the album or whatever. Like I have plans to go back into film also, man. I need to go back to school, finish studying film, maybe do that overseas a couple years, like literally just to leave that body of work to influence and mean something to people that need to hear it, and focus on my film side of things so that I can come back and document what's going on, because I don't see enough hip-hop movies, films, documentaries, and I know that I used to shoot all of that footage myself back then, me and Deliza, and I know he's got all that footage, and I just don't know where it's being played. I don't know if people are seeing it, I don't know if they care, so I really want to like come back and contribute and document that and put it like on a big like scale where it is very like out there and people actually understand what this culture is about.
What do you think it is that this footage is not coming out? Because I also have no doubt that people are recording themselves. Everybody's literally walking around with a camera. Is it our infrastructure? Is it our consumers? Is it the kind of climate that we live in that people don't really consume such material? Like, what would it be?
Well, last I checked, like, documentaries didn't really make any money. And when it comes to movies, there's an authoritative angle that comes into just, so you'll find like your best people to make this, let's say, SA hip-hop movie. They don't have any credibility in the streets, they don't have any approval from anyone. Like, they don't want to step on anybody's toes. It just becomes so like egotistical for them. Like, from where they're sitting, it's like a big headache, and it's not worth all the trouble. Rather they go shoot about, so-and-so and speak to the family of so-and-so in another, like a scientist or whatever, because it's just A, B, C, D, and you're done, So like it needs people that come from the culture, like myself, but not to perpetuate this dropping out, self-taught story, you know, and just go in there without the actual credentials and then do something, give it your best shot, and it's not actually hitting the actual quality or the level that film is at, you know, and it's just like a good shot for hip-hop, and then we all laud it as if it's something great just because it's hip-hop. It's gotta be like groundbreaking film, right? So it needs people like myself or people that are studying film to actually, like, you know, go there, get these qualifications so that they can work with the best in the country, you know, and sit in the boardrooms and actually speak facts, you know.
It's all about this qualification conversation, because it's a big debate in some parts of the world, not in hip-hop so much. But,
Yes.
you know, is the qualification really important? I saw a little clip on social media with this guy joking around saying to his friend, you said education is the key, so then open the door with the key that, you know. I mean, we all study finance, accounting,
Yes.
marketing, blah, blah, blah. Not a lot of us have studied music, not a lot of us have studied production, not a lot of us have studied, etc. that's needed for hip-hop.
Yeah.
I mean, what level, at what point do we then allow these off-field expertise to play in the game, and to what extent do we then disregard people that are self-taught per se? I mean, that kind of a conversation is a bit sidelining.
No, I don't think you should ever disregard people that are self-taught, because that's where, like, you'll find, like, the most passion still remains, you know. It's not to say that if you're self-taught you can't go to a certain level, etc., and speak to those people. But what I'm saying is that if you're self-taught, right, and you continue to educate yourself in your self-taughtness, continue to educate yourself even better than that person in that boardroom that you're going to speak to, that only gives you an added advantage, you know. When I say self-taught, I mean practical, like, you know how to do this, you know how to use this software, you know how to use this camera or this or this or that, you know. But you can still further educate yourself by picking up a book and continuing to study and read different techniques, or whatever the case is, or whatever's trending in the field of film right now, etc., having conversations with people that are actual experts in this, because this thing is a clique thing also. Up there top in that boardroom, there's a clique of filmmakers that are not just going to let this come up kid who's just got a bit of hype and a bit of buzz from the streets come here and try and be a boss of something that they've studied for. They've gone overseas and traveled and got all this experience and this and that. Just because you're nice, they're not going to let you sit at that table. So that's where it is. It's not like to say self-taught is not the way to go. Continue self-teaching yourself. Don't say just because I know how to use this camera, now it's about my angles and how I interpret. Continue to educate yourself. For me, that's the reason I'm going back to school, because in my making music, I haven't continued to educate myself, you know. So I want to go back to film and start it from the ground up and make sure that when I step on set, I'm not saying, Ish, can you just, you know, when you
touch that thing,
Ish, you know,
just
when you understand,
yeah.
I don't wanna put hip hop in that light. I wanna get on set and I wanna talk to the gaffer and this and runner and this and know exactly what everybody's role is. Let's go to VT now. I don't wanna be confused on that set and just be talented and skilled. You know, I need to know lingo, even be able to communicate so that people understand that I am of a different caliber, or I know this better than so and so, and I deserve the big bucks that I want to charge. Because now I'm going to be there, then I'm going to be charging peanuts because I don't have paperwork. That's not building anything.
You mentioned something about glorifying dropout culture. More and more kids are just like, actually, this tertiary thing is not
I'm just
working
gonna
out.
rap.
I'm just gonna rap.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that, because I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't want to endorse it either. I'm very 50-50 about that. What do you think? You know.
You know, when it comes to being a rapper, you definitely don't need a degree. That's fact, right? I just feel like, you know, as much as I support, you know, this new blood movement that's happening, so many shows, new rappers, this, you know, so many competitions and come on tour, come and do this, you know, new squads here and there, build your following. Like, we're giving so much advice to so many artists, and these are hundreds and hundreds of kids that we are putting into this system. My question is, who is going to manage these kids? You know, who is going to take care of their careers? You know, like, who's going to be their road manager? Who's going to be their actual manager? Who's going to be their labels? You know, we need more ambitiouses. We need more Sonys. I mean, yeah, more Sonys. We need more Mabala noise. Mabala noise is not happening anymore. That's a crisis. You understand? We can bring as much new talent as we want, but no matter where that kid signs, he's going to be number 152 on the roster. And you're going to look at him and say, so Sony didn't work out, huh? It's going to be his fault. You understand? So we're just setting them up for failure. Then he's going to leave that label and you're going to say, yeah, go independent. And then he's going to learn what being independent means. He's going to suffer. He's just going to be broke all the time. And you're going to be asking, why have you gone so quiet? Anamali. That's why I've gone quiet. You understand? That's what we're setting these kids up for. Only for a 10-minute clip where he wins a show and he's got 1,000 new fans, and now we're doing something for the game. Yes, we are building this game. Where are the road managers? Why not a competition for road managers? Why not a competition for new labels? Which is the best label? You understand? Let's do that, because at the end of the day, these kids still need to go and talk to the big heads that have been in this industry for years. They still talk to those guys.
Never go away.
Those guys are busy making money with the artists that make money there, Chief. They are busy. This new thing is going to take time, effort, money, right? They don't have it right now. They're busy. It's December, focusing on this big artist, make as much money as possible. Maybe we'll see you in March. If we see you in March, we'll try one single. It's not working out. Hey, so-and-so is back. The tour is starting now. We are busy. That's the truth of the matter. So I don't know, that's where I find it difficult to support like this, you know, push that we're pushing. We're just pushing the wrong thing too much. We need to push a new industry, not just a new rapper or a new artist.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Information. And you get it anyway. I appreciate that, you know, you literally had to say that you have to continuously inform yourself by pulling a book. YouTube tutorials, they're everywhere.
100%.
You know? That's really dope. We needed to check in, see what's going on with that. Ooh, our father.
That was growing.
I see the theme with your is this Utatako until is that leading up to becoming a pop star? There's a young aesthetic going on there.
Yeah.
Is that part of the rollout?
Yeah, it is part of the rollout. You know, it's just, you know, like, for instance, I made Utatako like 2 weeks before it dropped. It was supposed to be something else before. So I usually just like go with my feeling at the time, because I spend most of the time trying to figure out like what is the best way to make the kind of impact that will make people actually pay attention and listen to the music, you know. So it could change any time, you know. I put up an until flyer, didn't put a date, because, you know, I'm still
doing the thing.
Trying to see which way this thing is going.
Are you going to do a visual album? Let's just clear that out before we get ourselves into more trouble. Maybe not.
Right now, it's not looking like it, but, you know, it's something I would like to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so attached to all my songs that I have literally planned videos for each and every single song, like thought out and on paper. If you open my Adobe page, like, there's a video for every single song. So hopefully we can get it done. I'm just trying to do it myself. I'm shooting Utatako through Young Legend Films, and if that goes well, then, you know, we can keep shooting, and hopefully it might be a visual album.
Yeah. And are we set for January with the album, or are you still gonna?
We are set like this.
Okay, like this.
This is the setup for Jan. You know, yeah, man. I'm definitely dropping it in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Popstar, it would be Popstar. Popstar is coming 2019. Becoming a Popstar is on the way before the end of this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Yanga Chief. Question, was it always Yanga Chief, or did you just emphasize the Chief just to You sure? Because I'm sure you were younger at some point.
Yeah, it was Yanga at some point, but it was always Yanga Chief on my social media. So I just decided to run with that because it actually means something, you know. So it wasn't just like a cool handle.
Yeah.
So, you know, with my great grandfather being a chief, and with my clan name being a chief, so yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah, and there's a saying that says Yanga Inkosi ngenza umthandazo abantwana abaningi, so that Yanga Inkosi is just tied in there.
And your collaborative album with Nati?
Geez, there's nothing like it on the cards. I haven't really seen Anati the whole year, actually.
Okay.
But we're cool people. The last time we were in East London, which was like maybe 3 years ago, we had some time over, and he took me to his crib in East London. So yeah, we're good people. So it's just finding the time is tricky, and it's actually a busy time for both of us right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like that.
Shout out.
Yanga Chief, get the single Tatako. It's out. Look out for until it drops. But the info is out there, of course, at Yanga Chief. It's Yanga Chief. Say the Chief. Chief. Thank you so much for coming through, my brother.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you.
Broadcast live